Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, Fabulites. I have a question for you. What opens with one woman dying and what closes with one woman resurrected? If you guessed American Gods episode 3, Head Full of Snow, then you're correct. And if you'd like to stick around for my recap and review, please do. You're welcome. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. So let's see how we get from opening to closing. So we see a woman, says she's somewhere in America, but she's in Queens. And she dies while she's cooking. Mrs. Hadil doesn't realize that she is dead until talking to a man at the door who is of death, Anubis, and there to guide her to the scales to check on how her heart measures up against the weight of a feather. And they walk up the eternal fire escape into a desertish landscape. And I love how the feather doesn't blow away in the windiness. I love how Anubis is chocolate. I just love the whole scene. I love how casual Anubis is with snatching her heart. And it turns out that her heart is lighter than a feather. Although when the measuration is going on, she's like, I was not nice to my... You get a little nervous, but you okay, girl. Are you sure I do this with you? The woman asked as she followed. If you follow the wrong God, I do not get to see my Tita again. And her hairless cat, who had been a part of the whole vignette, pushes her through the doorway that Anubis had selected at her request for her. He walks away from the 5 doorways in the middle of a deserted nowhere. Woo! That was the opening scene. Okay, so then we have the bull man. This scene is about the bull man and the third sister. So it's about those 2 people. So we're in the kitchen. We see the checkerboard. We see Moon sleeping on the couch. We see a shadow and we catch a glimpse of white cloth floating outside the window. Moon catches that glimpse too. He climbs up the fire escape. The sky it's open. It's like an opening surrounded by clouds. And on the roof, he meets Zoropola Nocha. I'm not sure what her name is, but she's looking through the telescope. She's the third sister, the sleeping sister, the virgin. And she says that she's watching a bad thing in the sky, a bear, Odom. And they watch all day and all night. The 3 sisters watch. If he escapes, the world ends. So she reads Moon's palm. She tells him that he believes in nothing, so he has nothing. And that he is on a path from nothing to everything. And she says that he keeps giving away his life. She takes her first kiss from him. She pulls the moon from the sky to alter his fortune, and it turns into a coin in hand. He had the son, the father, she tells him, and now he has the moon, the daughter. Is it a dream? I don't know, because it's like then he's waking up. He has a rematch with the bull man. The bull man is like, rematch for what? You want me to kill you twice? Shadow is like, you probably weak. You've been using this other tool. You ain't used to using the hammer. So you might need 2 shots to kill me. You don't want to just leave me, paralyzed and jacked up. You want to go ahead and kill me. You only got 1 shot. That's all you won. But you could win 2 shots, and then that way you'll know. If you need 2 shots to kill me, you got both shots. So instead of 1 shot, if you win, you'll get the 2 shots if you need them. And if I win, you'll come with me on Wednesday, and then you'll get a shot at me, 1 shot at me later, and it'll be our secret, this rematch. So we see Wednesday. He's talking to the white-haired lady, and he says, "You're living with less. You need a court to adore you. Excess suits you. Tell me my fortune." And she says, "You will lose." Wednesday says, "Well, that's only my fortune today. Let us walk, even if it might rain." And then she says, "They will kill you this time." He kisses her, and she, "What have you done? I can taste you in the rain." What else can I taste? She's trying to figure out. And Wednesday says, "War." And then we see the bull man, and he's laughing. Okay, I'll go to Wisconsin. Then I'm going to kill you. It's good? And Moon, he wakes up. He's looking at the moon coin in his hand. And he says the storm died. Wednesday says, no, the storm hasn't died. We're going to rob a bank. You want coffee? Okay, so then we see the leprechaun. He's sleeping in a toilet stall, and he has a toilet paper pillow. Somebody comes in, they put a gun to his head, and he says, you won't shoot me. You'll try. Or if you try, the gun is going to backfire and you'll lose 2 of your fingers. Don't push your luck. And he picks up a bottle and he drinks the last dregs from the beer bottle, so he got it turned up. And she shoots the bottle. I think it's the same woman who had suggested chili, that Moon get chili when he was short of money. And this the same basic spot and time, I'm thinking, where we last saw the leprechaun. Is that what you think? I don't know. And then the next thing we see is the leprechaun. He limping on the road, like on a, not a highway, but on a freeway, like a 1-lane freeway. And then a man, he's 11 years sober. He pulls up. He assumes that leprechaun is a drunk. He says, I remember being out there on the other side of the road. So he's offering him a ride, rest, food, and the message of AA. So leprechaun get in the car with him, and then boom, it's a freak accident that sends a pipe off the back of a truck and through Mr. Sobriety's head. So then one of the men on the accident scene, how people come when there's an accident and they cleaning up, or the ambulance or whatever, but one man says, that's some crazy bad luck. And that statement triggers Leprechaun. And then he's checking his coins. He's like going through all his gold coins in his pocket. He's like, no, fuck. Because he realizes something at that moment. Okay, so then this section is called Jinn, or I called it Jinn. Like, you might not know. Well, I've heard that, like a Jinn is like a bad genie, or like bad luck, or an evil character. Or, we think of like a genie as like a wish granter. But I'm just going to call him a Jinn. Okay, so we see a salesman in New York City. He's Middle Eastern, and he almost gets hit with a pipe. It kind of brings us back to the scene before. Then he's at a business appointment, and he, sitting there. And then at some point, he's like, I had an 11 o'clock appointment. It's 11:35. And the receptionist says, Mr. Blanding knows you're here. And then the clock is passing. It's lunchtime. And, he says something else to the receptionist. And she says, he's at lunch. I don't know when he'll be back. And then it's 6 p.m. And the receptionist says, Mr. Blanding won't be coming back today. And he tries to make an appointment. She like, appointments are by telephone only. So he smiles and he says, okay, well, I'll call and make an appointment tomorrow. She like, why are you smiling? And he says, a salesman is naked in America without a smile. Tomorrow I will call. He goes outside. It's raining. He gets a cab. The driver is also Middle Eastern. He's wearing sunglasses. He cussing up a storm in Arabic. And I love how they did the translation. They had the Arabic characters like in orange or yellow. And then in white, they had the English translation. It was so beautiful. But, they get to talking about a city that's been gone for thousands of years now. And the cabbie, we find out he's been a driver for 10 years. And he's saying he's been driving a day for 30 hours straight, or, more than a day, 30 hours straight. And the salesman is like, man, I spent the day waiting for a man who would not see me. My brother-in-law hates me. Shoot, I've been in America for a week, and it's just eating up my money. I sell shit. And the cabbie is like, you sell shit? Well, that shit is all they sell here. You sell shit and they won't buy your shit? That's strange, because shit is all they sell here. And then he's like, well, we'll take 8th Avenue. And they drive in, and the cabbie falls asleep in this traffic jam. And the salesman kind of reaches and kind of slowly touches his shoulder. And I don't know if it's because he was attracted to him and wanted to touch him, or he had some suspicion that he was a genie. But when he touches him, he sees fire literally in the cabbie's eyes. And he tells the cabbie, my grandmother saw a jinn too with fiery eyes like you. And the cabbie, he's like, the guy asked him, are there a lot of genies in New York? And the cabbie is like, nah, and they don't know nothing about my people here. They think all we do is grant wishes. Think I'd drive a cab if I could grant wishes? And the cabbie and the salesman, the salesman reaches back, because, you know, the cabbie is talking about some of the awful things that have happened to him, like people boo-booing in the back seat and have to clean it up. And the salesman reaches and he touches the cabbie on the shoulder. And then the cabbie reaches up and he touches the salesman. So they're kind of touching hands. And then we see a desert image. Then, you know, blah, 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 blah. They're in the elevator and there's a shot of their hands. Then they reach out and they're touching hands and they're holding hands. Then there's like some pre-sex interaction. The cabbie, I don't grant wishes. The salesman, but you do. And then they sex, and the salesman is filled with fire from the cabbie. Then it's a new day. At first, the first time I saw it, I thought that the cabbie was consumed by fire, but I don't think that that's exactly what happened. Then it's a new day, and the salesman looks in his wallet or the cabbie's wallet, because he puts on the cabbie sweater, but in it, it's like he has a new identity. He has a new ID. I don't know if he has a new name, but he's a cab driver now. So he puts on the cabbie's sweater. He walks outside, gets into the cab, and smiles, looks into the mirror, and says, "I do not grant wishes." Okay, so then we have the bank robbery. So we see Wednesday and Moon, the wed Moon, they arriving at the bank. Wednesday, let's go introduce ourselves. Come on, bodyguard, guard my body. Wednesday asks for and gets stacks of overnight deposit slips. And he's telling, you know, Shadow, quit complaining. Don't bleed until you're wounded. Write that payphone number down. I'll get you a hot chocolate. You like marshmallows? Think of snow. Hard driving snow. Then we see Moon sing Snow and the caddy in the marshmallows. And then they're at the print shop and they have a conversation about Jesus. And Wednesday tells Moon, Snow, snow, think about snow, as he orders a couple of sets of business cards and more. Then we see Moon, he sings snow and ice and crystals and snow and things freezing. And then Wednesday says, that's enough. Don't want to immobilize the city, and it's snowing. They're in an eatery. Moon says it wasn't supposed to snow or even be cold. And Wednesday is like, you believe little folks in a box, but not your creative ability. And Moon is like, science is not a fantasy. And then in comes the Leprechaun Sweeney. Give me my coin, my lucky coin, give me. Moon is like, I threw that away. That's on Laura's grave. And then next thing we see is Wednesday dressed up as a security guard. He gives Moon a card. He says, that's you, Director of Security Services at A1 Security. Do some light grocery shopping, then hang out by the phone booth. Anyone ask, you waiting on a call from your girlfriend, your car broke down. I got a card too, says Mr. Wednesday. I am James O'Connor. Will you believe me? If you don't end up in jail by the end of the night. Wednesday puts an out of order sign on the ATM night deposit box and sits down out by the chair in his guard uniform, and he's collecting night deposits. A police car drives up, and then Moon gets a call at the phone booth from that very police officer checking up on Wednesday. He pretends he's A1 Security, and you know that's where the business card comes in. Wednesday, after they got the money and they divvying it up and everything, you believe in me now? All that whining about going back to jail on your 6th day out, you are pretending you cannot believe in impossible things. Moon has to brake suddenly for a wolf on the road. Wednesday, what a beautiful thing to be able to dream while you're awake. Moon, I believe in love because of Laura. Wednesday, I can survive anything but being forgotten. Then the next thing we see is Laura. Oh Lord, Miss Thang, what you doing, girl? That's just your poo-poo. Okay. The next thing we see is this section is called Laura. So we see Moon at a hotel. He's getting room key, room 55. Then we see the leprechaun digging up Laura's grave. And the leprechaun's lucky coin has burned a hole in the casket. He lifts up the casket and everything, and Laura is gone. That's what the leprechaun finds. He done dug her up. She gone. Moon opens the room door, and Laura is on the bed. And she says, hi, Poppy. That's it. That's American Gods, episode 3, Head Full of Snow. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying this show. Look how dark it is. It's not that dark outside, but y'all, this is a tree-lined street, and in the summertime when it's really, really hot, this street is really, really cool because of all of the tree lining. But I guess when you're trying to make a video and it's in the evening time and it ain't like no full-out sun, it's dark in here. It's dark. It's dark. Hey, fella. All right, y'all, that's what I got. Be you, be fabulous you. Are you watching the series? Are you enjoying it? Are you in love? Are you confused? Are you disturbed? Are you upset? Did you love the whole Middle Eastern, African reference, ancient Egypt stuff? All right, peace, y'all. Be you, be fabulous, yo. Yes.